94 cents. 7 is 5/8. 7 is 5/8. 8 is yes, because 7 squared plus 24 squared equals 25 squared. Number 9 should be, I believe, $2 per foot squared. 10 is 300%. 300%. Number 11 is 30 units squared. 30 units squared. 12 is 90. 12 is 90. 13, 288 inches cubed. 288 inches cubed. 14 is 24 inches. 15x equals negative 13. Negative 13. 16, x equals 4. X equals 4. 17, 5xy. 5xy. 18 is 6 times the square root of 2. 6 times the square root of 2. 19, 4 hours, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. 4 hours, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. And last but certainly least, 20, 1 yard, 2 feet, 8 inches. 1 yard, 2 feet, 8 inches. Manage? 18, 6 times the square root of 2, right.
What was number 9?
$2 per square foot. Bell?
What was number 2?
55 5/9%. Alex?
What was number 20?
20 is 1 yard, 2 feet, 8 inches. K-Bond?
What was 13?
13, 288 inches cubed, 14, 24 inches. Stupid Perk?
What was 7?
7 is 5/8. These, ladies and gentlemen, will be the times that try men's souls. Once again, help you to help yourselves in the area of fishing here. You may want to jot down some notes from what we discussed from this point forward on a separate piece of paper, not on this paper. But that's completely your call. Ryan,
Give me number 7 over there.
I love number 7. More than life itself. Everybody prepped and ready? 7 says that in a bag you have a ratio of marbles. Please note, order is important. Red marbles, 2 white marbles. Red marbles, 2 white marbles. It's the ratio of 3 red to 2 to 5 whites. Correct? Right?
Yes.
And what's the probability, or P, prob of a not red marble being drawn? Well, that would be then the fraction that's made when you put how many not reds there are over how many total marbles there are. How many total marbles do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and or 8. How many of those 8 marbles in that bag are not red? 5 of them. Where did you go astray on that? Is that
I did a ratio and then 5 over 3.
5 over 3? Didn't ask for the ratio.
Yeah, I
Red.
don't know.
5 over 8. That's it? One question is all. Well, good. Let's move on. I'm sorry. Kaylee,
How do you get number 9?
tell me that's the increase in percent one, is it? No, it's not. Number 9. Carpet costs $18 per square yard, use 2 unit multipliers. Why, ladies and gentlemen, do you have to use 2 unit multipliers? Hey, Schwartz, because it's square units. Notice it's not 18. 18 is not what's squared, it's the yards that are squared. So you should write this down like this. Okay, it is $18 per yard times yard. Well, actually, it's $18, sorry, over yard per yard times yard. No, wait, it is this. Yard times yard. You need 2 unit multipliers to cross off both of those yards, and you're changing it into foot or feet if you're singularizing. And how many yards? There's 3 feet in a yard, right? So bam, 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 bam. The cost per square foot. Oh, that's not right. I had it right the first time, did I? Sorry, people, scratch that. And here's for your notes. I did have it right the first time. It is $18 per fraction line, yard times yard. So to cross those off, where do yards have to be? On top. Is that where people went wrong? And feet have to be on the bottom. And there are 3 feet for every yard. And that's why the answer was yards cross off 18 divided by 3 times 3, which is 9. So you end up with $2 a square foot. How many people did it this way? Yeah. You gotta watch out for that word per. And I thought it was gonna work that way, but then as I think about it. Per is a fraction line. Anytime you see that word per, that's a fraction line, labels on top, labels on bottom. Alex?
I give you number 13.
13 already. What is the volume of the prism? Step number 1, Alex, I write down the formula for the volume of the prism, which is?
Volume of base times base.
Yep. Volume of a prism is, it's not the volume of the base, but the area of the base, which is this. Area of the base times the height. And then I have to decide what is my base on that shape there. Maybe it was too hard to see on the sheet. Was it? Could you tell what it was? Yeah, kind of. What is the area? What is the base there? Alex?
Now,
What's that? Using the famous loaf of bread theory, if I were to cut that shape into pieces of toast, what shape would they all be?
triangles.
All triangles. So you're going to find the area of the triangle, and you're going to multiply by the height. What is the height of that shape? If you put it on the triangle, how tall is it?
32 inches.
I think that's 12.
I had it
No. I was looking for the height of the shape, which is this. If I put it on top of its triangle and set it down, how tall is it? Remember, the height has to be perpendicular to the base. And then to find the area of the triangle, it is 1/2 of the triangle's base times its height. And 6 times 8 is 48. Cut 48 in half, you get 24. And take 24 times 12, which is what, 48 and 24, 288. And it's inches cubed. How many people got that right? Indeed. I thought we did 10, didn't we? Did I not do 10 already? Number 10, I have half a notion to ixnay it, just because. Again, it's all about the wording of this thing. Okay? If the dimensions of a rectangle are increased by 100%, then the area of the triangle is increased by what percent? So here you go. Let's do it out. Maggie didn't give us dimensions, right? So you used what? Did you use the dimensions? Let's just use a square, because a square is a rectangle. Give me a dimension, any dimension, something easy, huh? A 10 by 10. Now, if I take that and I increase those dimensions by 100%, what's 100% of 10? 10. So I increase 10 by another 10. It is now my new square is, or rectangle is a 20 by 20, right? Correct? Area of this one is 100. Area of this one is 400. Correct? If I do my percent box, I have my original, okay, which is 100%. I know its area, which is 100. I increase it by something. I don't know what my increase in percent is. That's actually what I'm looking for. But I know how much did I increase 100 to go to 100 to 400? 300 for my final, which is 400. The question to ask you is, what was this increase in percent? Well, since we were smart and we used 100 already, these are exactly the same. So my increase in percent was 300%. There was a 300% increase from the smaller to the bigger. That's somewhat make it. And then you said 11, Maggie? Oh, not number 11. Again, since I am a trained professional, I will do this without lines, but you will do lines because I gave you lines or whatever there. -3, -2, 1, 2, 3, -2. 5, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, and -2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So your trapezoid looks like this. Right, Maggie? And you wrote down the formula for a trapezoid, which is? And that would be one for your notes, by the way, for tomorrow. I'm sure it's probably going to be a trapezoid tomorrow. What are the bases? How do I know what two lines are the bases? Maggie? Yeah, the two lines that are parallel are the bases. What's this distance from here to here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be this here. So this is 4 from here to here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have to count the spaces, not the hash marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my 1/2 of 4 plus 8, and then what's the height? How do I know what the height is? Pick any line through here that is perpendicular. You could use the axis here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. And there is going to give you your 1/2 of 12 times 5, which gives you, was it 30? Let me say yes.
Yes.
Was that right? And they're units, so that's units squared. Stop me there if you don't get that. Again, it will be much easier for you because you'll be drawing it on that test paper, which maybe I will give you a piece of graph paper better than that because I don't think the test one has enough squares on it to go that big. Maybe not. Would that be a benefit for you? Because I'm here for you.
Yes.
Is that the only one you have to graph?
No,
That's right. What if I gave you 2 of them? Ava, number 5. Is that on this one? No. Yes. Yes. The weight of the load varies directly with the number of boxes in the load. A load of 18 boxes weighs 600 pounds. What does the load of 12 boxes weigh? If you remember, children, this was the deal. In order for something to vary directly, it's like this. If you know 1, I know x, pick the smaller number to be x there. If x equals 18, y equals 600. In order for something to vary directly, there must be a constant of proportionality or some number that you multiply x by to get y. Once you figure out what that number is, no matter what the x number is, you just multiply it by that and that'll give you the y. So how do I figure out 18 times what number is 600? I have to divide that out. 600 divided by 18, what is this? 3 is 54. Oh no, does it not work out?
It does. Because,
It is 33 1/3? Well, what if I don't like 33 1/3?
I did it the other way,
Well, you could do it proportionately. You could do this. This is the same thing. I mean, you could put 12 here and put your n there. So then it's going to be this times this equals that times that. Is that what you did? Right.
Yeah.
Huh?
So 600 divided by 300 is 18.
600 divided by 300 is not 18.
Oh, it's no,
600
wait.
divided by 33 1/3 is 18.
I'm not sure what I did. I
Well,
wish this would work every time, but it works.
Well, here's probably, this way would probably be the easiest way here. You know 18 over what number? 18 over 12 equals 600 over what number? And then this actually reduces down. What number goes into both of those? 6. Divide them both by 6, you get 3 over 2. 3 times 200 is 600. 2 times 200 is 400. You can do it this way. Your constant is still this 33 1/3, and if you multiply 12 times 33 1/3, you'll still get 200. But it's just not that easy or pretty, I guess. So in this case, maybe it would have been better to reduce it and do that. Does that kind of help, Ava? I would make this, just make this, make your x and y table. Like plug in the numbers, you know x is 18 when y is 600. Put a 12 there, and then just think about these as being equal fractions. 18 over 12 equals 600 over what number? And reduce if you can. There you go. Was there another one there? Landon?
17.
17. Got some 17 is on the top of this paper here. Bottom.
Top right.
Over here. First things first is we don't deal with negative exponents here, so you need to simplify this. And how do you simplify that? Somebody? Cameron A?
Take the negative exponent and add it with
Right, when you multiply same bases together, you add their exponents. Let me write it bigger so you can see it. If you have 3x to the negative 1, and you combine it with an x squared, what do you get if you add negative 1 and 2 together? It's just a 1x, yeah. So you end up really with 3xy. And then over here you have plus 2xy. And if you have 3xy's and you add 2 more xy's to it, you end up with 5xy's. You're not multiplying, so you don't get x squared, y squareds. You're adding these two things together. 3xy's plus 2xy. It's 5xy. You could have taken this x, and because it's a negative exponent, put it on the bottom of the fraction and made it positive, but then it's just going to cancel off with one of those two x's on top, and you still end up with just that x over there. Ryan?
Number 4.
Going back and forth from page to page. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as soon as I look at that, ladies and gentlemen, this is the note to myself. Anybody? As soon as I look at that, one thing sticks out to me right off the bat. Maggie, and it is, If you have a negative next to the letter, you're going to end up switching the sign because you're going to have to divide by that negative to get it to the other side. Okay? In other words, to get this x by itself, I have to divide by a -2. Anytime you multiply or divide the variable letter by the negative, this sign is going to switch its sign as well. So you end up with x is not less than -2, but greater than -2. If this would not have been, if that would have been a positive, I wouldn't switch the sign. But if that x is negative, and then when you graph it at -2, it's an open circle because it's not equal to, it goes in this direction. First thing I always think about, if there's an inequality, look and see if that variable is negative. That's always where people go wrong. How many people got it wrong because of that? So there's a little note. If, now I'm not saying tomorrow's test is going to have that there, it may not. Don't think you always flip it. Don't get that in your head. And it doesn't matter if this is negative, it only matters if the one next to the letter is negative. Alex, number 3. Oh, I was hoping for number 3. Oh, sketch a graph. By the way, it says sketch, so that's what it is. Somebody want to walk me through this one? If you see this linear equation, which is in what form is that? Somebody. It is not standard. That's the other form, but that's not it. Somebody. This form is called slope-intercept form. And it's called that because it gives you both the slope and the y-intercept. How do I graph this? First thing I do, Caleb, is you put a dot on the y-axis at +3. So here, 1, 2, 3 is a dot. That's my starting point. That's the intercept part. And what is the slope of this line? Out there in math world, somebody? Kayleen, the slope is?
Down 1.
Well, tell me what it is here first. It's the number in front of the x, but there's no number there. It's 1. It's a -1 slope, or a -1 over 1. I don't care what it is. Yes, so Kayleen says it is, you're going to tell me, from this point I go down 1, left or right over? Here? Yeah, negative slope goes downhill, so down 1, over 1. Down 1, over 1. Down 1, over 1. Your slope is going to look like that. It's negative slope. If it goes the other way, it's positive slope, up 1 over 1. You could have gone up 1 over 1, but you've got to make sure you look at what your slope is. It's negative slope. Slope intercepts form. Congratulations. Schwartz. Again? How many times did I do it already? Oh, I didn't do it. The sales tax rate is 8.5%. What is the total cost, including tax of a night? Price of $40.50. Tax and tip is always what type of a problem, David? Multiplication. So, first thing I have to do is find out how much tax am I going to pay on $40.50. That's multiplication. But it asks me for the total cost. So once I find the tax, I have to add it back onto that. So you maybe, how many of you just found the tax? Which means, how do I multiply this? It is what? 0.085 times $40.50. And there's a good chance you're going to have to round after you do all this. 0, 25, 0, 0, 40, 32. Is that right? 0, 5, 2, 4, 2, 3. How many decimal places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 3.2425. So how much is my tax, people? Our money doesn't go out that far, so you have to figure out what to do with this. This is like having $3.24 of a cent. If I don't do that, what do I need to do, Ryan?
You round.
To the nearest cent.
Yes.
which means your answer is either gonna be $3.24 or $3.25. In this case, because after the 4 is a 2, doesn't matter if that is, this stays a 4. So I've got $40.50 for the thing plus $3.24 for the tax. I hope I got that right. $43.74 total. Did I have that wrong?
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's,
quit. What'd I do?
well, it's 3, for the tax, it's $3.44.
Oh. What did I add wrong? Did I do wrong multiplication? Why don't you stop me at that point? So isn't this 32?
Wait, you added 2 zeros.
Where?
Well, like, you know how you added
I know, but this was 1 0 and then 8 times 5 is 40, so I added 2 zeros. No, this should have been here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Should I do it again, or can you get the gist? Somebody want me to do it again?
No.
I blame this because I just didn't have enough room to do it. That, and I gotta see an algebra 1 again. Keeps coming back up. Claire, Madison, is it bad to have you guys that close? Stupid, what do you think? You're kind of caught in the middle. You got no issues with it? You won't have any trouble concentrating between those two? Well, will you let me know if there's any issues?
Sure.
Maggie? I didn't hear which one? 20? As in 20? Well, that's a very interesting question. You have to know your measurement conversions here. You can't take 6 inches from 2 inches, so you have to borrow. Did you borrow? So you take 1 away from the feet, it's 0 feet. How many inches is a foot? So you have to take 2 and add 12 to it, right? So that's 14. 6 from 14 is 8 inches. Now I can't take 1 from 0, so I have to borrow from the yards. It's 2. How many feet are in a yard? 3, so this becomes 3. 1 from 3 is 2. And 1 yard from 2 yards is 1 yard. Where did we go wrong, Maggie? Always goes wrong at the yards to feet.
You do number 2.
I did number 2, didn't I? Are you just having me do this to watch me make a mistake again?
No, I just didn't do it.
12 boys, 15 girls in the class. Percent of the students in the class are girls. Well, if I were you doing this, the first thing, before I change it to percent, I would change the word percent to fraction. What fraction in the class are girls? Ryan? How many girls are there?
15.
How many people in the class?
27.
27. So I want to make this fraction a percent. Best way to do that, somebody up there. I could have done a percent chart thing, which would have done the same thing. Should I do it that way? Would it be more helpful if I did the percent table? If I did the percent table, it would look like this. Your percent, here's the actual, it's what, boys, girls, total. There are 12 boys, 17, 15, 27. 27 is 100%. What is this, 15? So what number over 100 equals 15 over 27, which is the same thing I have there. Not going to change anything. Somebody? I would do what? Caitlin Showhammer to make this problem easier, I would? No, can't cross multiply and equal. It's multiplying fractions together when you cross multiply. You cross cancel maybe? No. Oh, you did cross. Sorry about that. Wrong again. Yes, you can cross multiply. I was thinking you could reduce first. Anybody want to reduce first? Reduce this. Did you reduce? No. You just cross multiply? Divide by 3 to get 5/9, and then Katie says cross multiply. 9 times what number equals 500? Now, you could have, Brian, reduced this to 5/9 and said what fraction is that? How would you know what percent that is? As Brooke Howell looks on her note folder that has nines, 5/9 is what percent? Or you can divide this 9 into 500. And I'm scared to do the math, but I'm going to guess you get 55 and 5/9. If I make one more mistake, there'll be 3 strikes and I'm out. There's not many problems left to go, so the chance of that happening are pretty good. When they test me, right now I probably would have got a B+ on this test right now. Ava, we haven't done 14 yet? Is it over here? What number is this? Is it up here? What is the perimeter of the base of the prism? What shape was that base? Let's look at it. It's an 8 by 6 triangle, right? Did you have that, Ava? 8, 6, and we don't know what this is, right? But we know it's a right triangle, correct? So, if you see a right triangle, what do you suppose you should be thinking about for that? Pythagorean theorem. Do we have a 681? We do not. So then, Cameron, I have to think what?
See if you can reduce them.
Can I? What number goes into both of those?
2.
I can cut them both in half, and I'm going to do that. Cut in half, cut in half. So this little bitty triangle I make is a 4, 3. What's my other side in the 3, 4 triangle? Somebody?
10.
5. And then to go back to the original one, since those are cut in half, you have to double it, it's 10. So your perimeter is 10 plus 6 plus 8. I'm going to take a shot at 24. Did I get that right? See, there was a chance I was going to get it wrong. Ryan, you're just stalling now. You are, aren't you? I can tell, look at, he's got that little
I
quiz.
did number 1. Because I got 11.
There's one like 6 plus 4?
I got 11.805.
A car traveling at the average, so you take total miles, miles per gallon. Look, miles per gallon, right? So you did 176. You want me to make a division mistake here, don't you? So you're saying you didn't get the right answer when you took 176 divided by 6.4?
Yeah, I did not.
Add this over, do this over. You didn't get the right answer? Is that a 2? This 3 would give me 180. 8, 12. 6, 48. How many times is 64 go to 480? 7? Huh? 7? 7 times 4 is 28. 2, 42, 44. Is that right? You just wait till you make some sort of mistake. 32 over 64 is a half, or 0.5. 27 and a half. MPG. I'm guessing since nobody laughed at that. Let me see your papers. What did you get for an answer?
Oh, I know what I did wrong. I put
What did you get for an answer?
11.805.
So, what's the my mistakes today?
It's because 176, the one that like kind of collides into the line.
Ryan, I wonder if it has anything to do with the neatness and accuracy of your handwriting.
Yeah, I think it might be related.
I think it is related.
I think they're akin to each other. Is this all of them? Alex?
Number 19.
I did 19. What about 19? No. Alright, you're adding, right? What is 40 plus 30 plus 45 is 75, correct?
Yeah, like 15 seconds.
Right, so you add and you subtract and not add.
Wait,
Sorry.
What?
so 15 seconds is
That's
right,
right.
because,
Oh,
because
so then
Yeah.
so you take the 60 seconds away, which is 1 minute, and you're left with 15 seconds. Right? So 21 and 45 is 66 minutes. So you have to take an hour away from that, so you're left with 6 minutes. You put an hour up there, and then 2, 3, 4 hours. That's not what you got? You're waiting, trying to make me make a mistake. I see your little thing.
Oh, yeah, 4 hours, 26 minutes, 2 seconds. I would do that to
Sure you did. What's still left to not be done? Really, nobody had questions? That surprises me to no end right there.
what questions do that?
Very surprised to know 15 or 16 since we struggled so much with that before. Hey, Ron?
We do number 16.
I will do 16 just because. I know that I'm running out of time quickly, but 16. Remember when you do these, children, your first thing is to look, can you simplify anything on either side? Cabral, can I do anything with this or anything with that? You cannot. There's no like terms, there's nothing there. So then you need to move your numbers to one side, your letters to the other. How do I get this x over here? How do I move this x from here to here, David? You do the opposite what it is, it's addition, so you subtract. 3x's minus 1x is 2x. And then how do I move this 7 from here over to there, Grace? I do the opposite, which is subtracting, so now I get 2x equals 8. And then usually the last thing you do at the end of all these is to divide by what's next to the x, which happens to be 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I don't think I can do it. This one?
Yeah.
Now this one, can you simplify this side? Yes. You need to do the distributive property. What's 2 times x, Ryan?
2x,
2 times 2?
4,
Did you get this problem right, Ryan?
no,
Then once you go there, it's the same thing we just did. Move your x's to this side. You're up with x plus 4 equals negative 9. Subtract 4, right? Subtract 4. 2 negatives give me a positive, right?
yes, no, wait, no.
No. When you add 2 negatives together, you get a bigger negative.
Color multiplication gives you a positive.
It does, but I wasn't multiplying. X equals negative 13.